Player characters that have access to flight at first level are a major source of contention in the D&D community. The potential that a first level character with flight has is insanely disruptive at the first tier of play, so much so that Wizards of the Coast has come out and banned characters with flight at first level. It's weird because anytime that I mention that, yes, these characters that have flight are super strong in the first tier of play, there's always this comeback of like, well, yeah, then you can just tweak your monsters to have a ranged attack, and it's like, well, yeah, you're still tweaking your monsters to challenge this player, so of course there's a problem. Let's just go on ahead and go over into D&D Beyond, look at the features, we'll go into the race and synergy analysis table, and then I want to show you guys this chart that I made that's going to describe just exactly how strong the Aarakocra are at first level. So the Aarakocra, your dexterity score increases by 2, one of the best ability score increases in the game. Your wisdom score increases by 1, always going to help out your perception checks, and druid and cleric spellcasting, always great. Size, you're a medium-sized creature. Speed, your base walking speed is 25 feet. I know you're probably going to see that, like if you're newer to D&D, and be like, oh, what? However, you got a fly speed of 50 feet. And we'll get into that here in a second. Talons, you're proficient with your unarmed strikes, which deal 1d4 slashing damage on a hit, kind of whatever, dagger damage. Languages, you can speak, read, and write, Common, Aarakocra, and Auran. So the flight speed, 50 feet of flight speed. I want to talk about this a little bit here. So not only do I have my sheet, my race and class synergy analysis sheet, I have a really famous sheet over here. If you all aren't aware of what this sheet is, this is called the Detect Balance sheet, and a lot of the homebrew community really reveres this sheet as one of the best design aids out there. It gives you a point of reference as to how balanced for 5e design your race might be. So looking at the Detect Balance sheet, you see has different point values for all the different stuff. How many languages you get gets you different points, different skills, magic, resistances, movement, vulnerabilities. There's all types of different things, senses, etc., etc. And then whenever we actually go over here to the official races, okay, so on the Detect Balance scale, they actually have 2 different values that they go off of. They have an integer value and a decimal value. For the sake of this, I'm just going to focus on the integer value. That's the one I'm most familiar with. Unfortunately, they don't have it in this chart, so we're going to go ahead and skip on down. But before we do that, if you look at this chart right here, you can most generally kind of see that races tend to average out around the 25 to 30 point value on this chart, right? I mean, you got Human Variant that everybody knows is an extremely strong race, up here at 33. Dragonborn, which tends to underperform, over here at 21. You have Goliath, again, people generally seem to feel that Goliath is okay, not doing super great, but at 24. Earth Genocide, again, very much a weaker race, 19. So, where does the Aarakocra score on this? So we're going to go ahead and scroll down because it is not in alphabetical order. Aarakocra is a 41. 30 being the upper point of balance according to the Detect Balance scale. And again, consider, this has nothing to do with opinion as much as this is tried and tested and true play testing here. This guide has been put through the paces as far as play testing and critique goes. So the Aarakocra gets a 41 on the Detect Balance scale. Their ASI, they get their +2 to Dex, +1 to Wisdom. It's amazing for clerics, druids, and rangers. I mean, monks as well. Like, I mean, an Aarakocra monk is going to be one of the combos that we'll talk about. 20 foot of speed, not really going to matter because they get 50 feet of fly speed. So 16 plus 6, so we're looking at 22 plus 6, 28. 1d4 unarmed strike, that's another point. Common +2 languages, so they get another point there. Their ASI is super synergetic for at least 4 of the classes in the game. I mean, +2 to Dex, you're never going to hurt from a +2 to Dex. 20 foot of fly speed is negligible. Half value because they will rarely need to walk. Yeah, you're really hardly ever going to be walking as an Aarakocra here. So why is flight so freaking strong? And they even make a mention here, again, commonly disallowed because the combat applications of flight like this are insanely good, and the exploration aspect can be disruptive at a table due to one-player focus. They're going to do all of your scouting. They're going to do so much crap with this. If you have ranged attacks as an Aarakocra, from levels 1 to 9, like, your DM has to tweak certain monster stat blocks in order to make the game even challenging for you. One of the other problematic things is how this is going to interact with grappling. So let's actually go over to this PDF that I've created, and I've linked down below. This is a little aid for those of you that might be considering playing Aarakocra and just how insanely busted they get whenever they grapple and fly straight up in the air with something. Okay, so here we are in my PDF that is illustrating the Aarakocra and their falling damage. So in case you don't know about this strategy and what led to the Aarakocra being just one of the more controversial race options in Adventurers League, the grapple and fly, like, fall damage combo just got to be so exploitable way early on, and essentially what you do, you go in, use your action, grapple a target. Okay, if you're an Aarakocra Barbarian, you get advantage on the grapple check, right? So people were rolling of Aarakocra Barbarian, Aarakocra Monk, and Aarakocra Rogue, or some multi-class variation of the three, because min-maxers discovered that by abusing the falling damage system, I mean, the first tier of play is completely trivial to Aarakocras like this. So how did this combo work? So, as an Aarakocra, you can take a level in Barbarian, potentially a level in Monk or Rogue at some point as a multi-class just to get some dash synergy as a bonus action, but anyways, so as an Aarakocra Barbarian, what you would do is Rage as your bonus action, go up to something, grapple it as your action, and then move up. Like, just use your movement speed to move straight up in the air. As soon as you do that, you're already 25 feet in the air, right? You drop something which is going to be no action that's required by you. It's going to take 2d6 damage, just 2d6 damage. No damage type there, you hear that? So it can't be resisted. This is falling damage, which isn't given a damage type. As well as, that creature is guaranteed to be knocked prone. That is so damn good. That is, oh my god, like, who cares about not getting your strength modifier or your dexterity modifier added to the damage? You're just able to go up, do 2d6 and knock something prone. That's something typically saved for spells. Like, it's crazy. And then, how about this? Let's just say that that creature attempts to make its escape check. Theoretically, it fails. You get to use your next turn to dash. So you're already up 25 feet. Let's say that you just dash straight up in the air again, right? You're up to 75 feet doing 8d6 damage. Now, all that this is dependent on is that it doesn't escape your grapple. So you're going to be doing fairly good as a barbarian on these grapple checks. And honestly, 8d6 guaranteed knock prone, you drop it from, 75 feet. If you have any other way to get more movement speed out of this, this is fucking nuts. Like, this is insane at the first tier of play. You're always going to be able to grapple, tiny creatures, just because it's 2 sizes smaller than you. If anything casts Enlarge Reduce on you, congratulations, you always grapple small creatures. You can potentially become a huge creature with Enlarge Reduce, and you're going to always succeed on grapple checks against medium creatures. I mean, there are all kinds of ways that people have gamed this in order to figure out ways to get up to, I figured out, 530 feet at one point, which was, all of this plus fly spell. Oh yeah! The way that the fly spell works with them is that it's not, the way that the fly spell is worded, it's not to where you gain, how do I put it? You gain the ability to fly, right? It's not like that. It gives you a fly speed of 60 feet or whatever it is in the spell. So it adds on to the Aarakocra's fly speed. Like, that is mechanically, rules as written, how that works. Rules as written, this race is absolutely absurd. Man, it's crazy. I haven't seen this in a hot minute. Aarakocra. So we officially got the Artificer. The Artificer, Aarakocra, of course it's OP because it's got cantrips, it can fly, it's not going to take a hit. The synergy is just too good. Aarakocra Barbarian for the reasons that we just talked about over in the fall damage table. Of course, this is OP. Wizards knows that this is OP. And, yeah. Bard, access to cantrips, dexterity saving throw synergy, yeah. Blood Hunter, I am not a big fan of the direction that the Blood Hunter is going right now. I'm just not really a big fan of this class at the moment. And yeah, I'm still waiting on someone to really sell me on it. If you haven't seen my Blood Hunter video, that was one of the first homebrew reviews that I did. Go check that out on my channel. Cleric, of course it's OP, Dexterity +2, Wisdom +1, on top of getting cantrips, on top of getting fly speed. Of course this is nuts. Of course it's nuts. Druid, OP, again, cantrips, fly speed, yada yada yada. The other thing that makes this really good is that Druid has Thorn Whip, which can pull a creature 10 feet towards you. The way that synergizes with Aarakocra is if you're flying on top of somebody and you Thorn Whip them up into the air, not only are you moving them, you drop them immediately back down, and then they get knocked prone. So there's another hidden synergy in there. It's so good. Fighter Dex, OP. The synergies are great. The fly speed's awesome. If you're shooting at range, of course it's awesome. Yeah. Archer Aarakocra is just nuts. Eldritch Knight gets access to cantrips. Illrigger, I am probably going to be removing this class soon from this list. I don't hear many people talking about it anymore. I haven't heard Matt Colville update it or release anything in a while. I just don't know that the Illrigger is going to really be a majorly popular option moving forward. Magus, Intelligence, Wisdom, and Charisma, of course, they're all OP. If you go a Dexterity build with the Magus, either way, you're going to get access to your cantrips. It's going to be fantastic. Monk, OP, Wisdom, you get the dash as a bonus action by using Key, is that Step of the Wind, I believe. So, just more synergy with that combo, it's nuts. Mystic Scion, we haven't seen it in a hot minute. I'm going to probably be removing this one until we actually see it again. I don't know. Paladin, V. This changes drastically if they get access to their the cantrips, if you use that one variant rule. If you take Mage Initiate, sure, whatever. I just would probably go any other build other than Paladin with them because there's so many other great builds for Aarakocra. Pugilist OP because they get their Moxie points. I mean, yeah, same reasons you're looking at the Monk being OP there. It's just so good. Ranger Dex, OP, of course. Ranged attacks, the synergies, your Dex +2, Wisdom +1, of course it's amazing. Ranger Strength, S+, you're going to go Dex with that. You're just, don't be silly. I mean, realistically, yeah, you're going to go Dex with it. Rogue OP, the dash is a bonus action that comes into play later. Dex synergy, there's, I believe is it the Mastermind? One of the Wisdom synergy rogues, I'm trying to remember right now. Either way, you want to throw daggers, you want to shoot bows as your rogue, Aarakocra is an amazing race to do it with. Dash is a bonus action. You get to move 100 feet in the air if you want to. Oh, sorry, I skipped over one little synergy here. Rogue and Monk also have features later that improve their movement speed. So whenever a feature improves your movement speed, that is improving every source of movement speed that you have, including climbing and flight. Rules as written, they now actually have 60 feet of fly speed, or 65, whatever it is, improves it by, I think it's 5 feet, right? Yeah. Oh, and it synergizes with the mobile feat. Yeah, so you're just, anytime that you get a feature in your class that's going to improve your movement speed, or you have a spell cast on you that does that, so in Aarakocra, that equals damage, because that means that you're going to just fly with them up in the air and drop them all the time, just all the time. It's crazy. Arcane Trickster gets access to cantrips. Inquisitor, I mean, mostly just because these are all dexterity based. Yeah. Scholar gets a B. It should most likely be a C. Probably the weakest of them all because the Scholar's not really focused on really a whole lot of combat craziness. I need to get more into that one, especially because it's one I'm going to be considering doing for a homebrew review here pretty soon. Yeah, I don't know. I say probably B, maybe C. Sorcerer OP, access to cantrips, yada yada. You get your plus 2 to dex. Warlock Wizard, all the arcane casters, of course, are going to be OP. They have their access to cantrips. Wizard is probably the strongest choice of the three because you get the saving throw bonus, I guess. Yeah. Really, just objectively, the Aarakocra is insanely strong. 50 feet of fly speed is ridiculous, and there are ways in which you can abuse that to cheese the crap out of Adventurers League games. You know, if your DM is coming in and running an official module, I mean, any one of those, and you just decide that you're going to take your 50 feet of fly speed and drop everything in the first, like, I don't know what, 6 chapters. I mean, you're going to just completely cheese through campaigns with this. Yeah, Aarakocra, OP, generally across the board. They are insanely good. And, yeah, what do you guys think? Leave it down in the comment section below. Is there anything I might have missed here? Let me know. Sure you all will. So, yeah, the Racing Class Synergy, gonna get this series back up and going, guys. Thanks for being here. It's good to be back. And I will see you all in the next one.